Nearly 11 years ago, these were the very first screenshots that Rockstar showed off of Grand Theft Auto 5, and they kind of came at a time where they hadn't shared a lot of news and info, and I feel like that's where we are, kind of in the same place with Grand Theft Auto 6. It was a very simple shot of a helicopter flying over the city, and then a couple of individuals sitting on the pier in one of the local parks. Pretty simple, but it gave us an idea of the graphics and ultimately how beautiful the world was going to look in GTA 5 and in Los Santos. Well, there's been a little bit more discussion on how the graphics are going to look, how beautiful the game is going to be, and that has come from Insider TezFunds2, with someone saying, what kind of graphical upgrades since Red Dead Redemption 2 do you think Rockstar has made within the Rage engine that we will see in GTA 6? And TezFunds2 said definitely improvements in terms of lighting and PBR textures, ray tracing covering reflection, shadows, and possibly AO2. Dexy's Code X lighting makes Grand Theft Auto 5 look better than vanilla. So there's a couple of terms there that you might be unfamiliar with. The first is PBR. That is physically based rendering, and that is basically a method of shading and rendering that provides a more accurate representation of how light interacts with material properties. So things like lights that you see in a building or the sun reflecting off of the water, that's what you're going to be looking at right there. And then the other one, AO, that stands for ambient occlusion, and this uses a grayscale texture to define large areas of occluded light. And if you're wondering how this is used in a PBR engine, a simple way to think about it is that instead of a very harsh shadow being cast, ambient occlusion creates a softer, more realistic global shadow around the edges of objects. And TezFunds2 has actually provided an example of what that might look like. So here is base Grand Theft Auto 5. This has no modifications at all. We're inside one of the construction sites. You can see there's sort of a pop-up generator light, some lights on the ceiling. It's dark. You can see some buildings on the outside. And then here is a very simple upgrade utilizing both PBR and ambient occlusion, and you can see how much softer the shadows are, how much more brilliant the light actually looks, and that's just one simple example right there. Obviously, when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, its graphics are going to be far beyond what we see in Red Dead Redemption 2, which I think is easily the most beautiful Rockstar Games title that they've created. And they're going to be able to utilize a whole new set of consoles, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. So they're going to be able to do things that we have not yet seen before in a Grand Theft Auto title. And that kind of bridges the gap to the next subject I want to talk about, and that is what generation or what sort of universe is Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto 6 going to be? To give you guys a quick backstory, that's how they've separated the previous GTA games. You have the 2D era, which is the first couple of Grand Theft Auto games, the 3D era, which is Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, and then the HD era is Grand Theft Auto 4, its DLCs, The Ballad of Gay Tony and The Lost and the Damned, and then Grand Theft Auto 5 and GTA Online. And the big question is, would Grand Theft Auto 6 take place in another universe, like the 4K universe or the HDR universe? And would they leave behind the HD era? And Insider TezFunds2 chimed in saying that it's probably going to be in the same one. He said, we know the Jay Norris incident is referenced within the game. That should make it a part of the HD universe. Same as GTA 5 and GTA Online. The whole thing with universes would have been a bigger deal if the game were to span multiple decades, but now we know it's focused on modern times. So in case you guys are wondering what he's talking about regarding the Jay Norris clip, that actually came from the Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks back in September. It's in the video file Americas 2022 09 06 17 13 34 if you want to follow along for yourself. Essentially what we have is Jason, who looks like he's at this kind of community pool, or it's some sort of pool next to either what looks to be like a RV home place, or it's right next to the highway. Either way, he runs across two people that are having a conversation. And it's two people talking about Life Invader, with the first person saying, I'm just looking at this video that Shanice posted on Life Invader. Going on to say, yeah, so Jay Norris can download your effing brain and sell it to the Chinese. The other guy said, come on, not this again. And Jay Norris is dead, man. The other guy saying, oh yeah, he's dead, is he? Just like there's a country called Finland and a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. bite my crank. Tiny people with tiny nooses around their neck, shoveling you-know-what down our throats until we start to like the taste. The other guy saying, oh God, he's off again. And then saying, don't let those effers own you. Smash that on the ground. Break out of the effing cage. And then he turns to Jason and says, am I right? So this clip right there confirms that the events of Grand Theft Auto 5 have taken place in the same timeline of where we are in modern-day Vice City, which would mean the events of Grand Theft Auto 5 are the exact same events that have occurred in the timeline of GTA 6, putting them both in the HD era. Now, why is that important? Well, traditionally, Rockstar have only allowed things to coexist in the same era or the same universe. That's why, for example, in Grand Theft Auto 4 and GTA 5, we haven't seen any characters appear from GTA 3, Vice City, or San Andreas, and that's because they are in a completely different era and therefore not allowed to step foot in Grand Theft Auto 4 or GTA 5. However, that is why we see so many characters from Grand Theft Auto 4 appear in GTA 5. They're in the same universe. So in theory, we could see the same thing. Lots of Grand Theft Auto 4 and lots of GTA 5 characters appearing in Grand Theft Auto 6 because they take place in the exact same universe. Now, that's not the only thing from the Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks that can kind of tell us it's going to take place in the same universe. Remember, there's tons of other references that Rockstar have slipped in there. Remember that there's an Arena War DLC vehicle that actually has a livery featuring the Vice City Metro Mule, which is one of the transportation services that takes place in GTA 6. So if those are connected, they have to be in the same universe. Although Rockstar has been blending and bending the rules of the universe, at least recently. I remember back in the Los Santos Drug Wars update, I think it was Dax, he actually mentioned a brand that only appears in GTA San Andreas. It's a Super Save store. So we obviously don't have any of those in GTA 5, and it was the first time it was ever been mentioned. So I think that they've been blending the universe laws a little bit more, although you could say that that is just a brand and not necessarily a character, because brands have always crossed over. Like, for example, Sprunk, Grotti, those are from San Andreas. I guess it's just the main characters that won't make an appearance. So in Grand Theft Auto 6, don't expect to see people like Tommy Vercetti or CJ, but what you could expect is characters from Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto 5, and possibly even some characters in GTA Online, as we now know that takes place in modern times too. So it would make sense that they could appear in Vice City, because we know that GTA 6's Vice City will appear in modern times as well. So that should give you a decent little idea of what universe Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be taking place in, and some of the graphical tools that Rockstar will be utilizing as well, like ambient occlusion and physically based rendering, to make the game look as beautiful as ever. And in combination with the fact they're going to be on the newest, latest, and greatest systems, I think the graphics of GTA 6 are going to be unbelievable. But anyways, I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Let me know what you think about everything we discussed in this video today, from the graphics to the universes to the characters that might appear. Let me know what you're thinking in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel, and be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.